Hello everyone and welcome to Retro Brick Reviews, where today we'll be counting down what are my top 25 most wanted LEGO sets for summer of 2018, or well, technically technically a bit more than just summer. I'm counting everything released up until October, simply because there are like 3 sets coming out in October that I'm probably getting, so yeah. So basically just every set coming out in the second half of 2018. If you're wondering why I didn't make this video back before the June sets came out, it's because in the United States there wasn't a single set released in June that was moderately interesting. So this video will be July to October. It can contain any theme, licensed, non-licensed, BRICKHEADZ, minifigure series, etc. So, yeah, without further ado, let's just get started. Number 25 on my list is the Princess Leia BRICKHEADZ figure. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to get this figure, to be honest. I probably will, but it's not the highest of priorities. I think that she looks pretty nice. I like the couple of new prints that make up her belt, and I feel as though the hair buns are done alright. I mean, I like some of the shaping that they have, although they don't really have the nice swirl design. So, yeah, overall, pretty alright BRICKHEADZ, but not one of the great ones, just pretty good. Number 24 is another Star Wars BRICKHEADZ figure that releases in October, this one being Boba Fett. I do feel as though this one does look a bit better than Leia, but still not one of the best Boba Fett BRICKHEADZ. I do prefer the one that was released for New York Comic-Con last year. I'm not a big fan of how so much of the detail on the mask of this guy is made up with prints, but I get that they wanted to differentiate it from that version, and to be fair, it does look pretty nice. I kind of wish that they'd done the red stripe on the mask using brick build techniques like they did on the other one. But yeah, overall, still a pretty nice figure, but again, not one I'm positive on getting. Number 23 is the NINJAGO BRICKTOBER minifigure set, that we have no idea when or where it's going to end up coming out, but I've decided to allow these BRICKTOBER sets since they were originally supposed to come out in October, and since we don't know when they will release, I just consider them to be part of the fall wave. This set has some alright figures. I feel as though Kabuki Nia is really nice, but the other 3 are kind of mediocre. I feel as though the Quiet one has some nice printing, although I would have preferred to get a different variant of her. Old J is alright, although a bit of a strange choice. And I'm really disappointed that the 3rd figure is just a random Sons of Garmadon member, although the silver baseball bat is nice. Number 22 is the Imperial Convex Transport from Solo: A Star Wars Story. I didn't really like the movie, but I do have to admit that this is a pretty cool-looking set. You get some nice minifigures, and also the Chewbacca, who is just really ridiculous-looking. So bad it's good, that sort of thing. The set has some alright play features, and I feel as though it looks pretty good. Although, I'm really not a big fan of the price-to-part ratio, which is the only thing holding this back from being higher on the list. Number 21 is the Party Time set from the UNAKITTY lineup. This set is going to cost $20, and I don't feel as though the builds really show that, but the set does have some nice minifigures. It comes with a really nice UNAKITTY, which in my opinion is the best one they're releasing for these sets. Then you have Puppycorn, Master Frown. Both of those are also coming in a few other sets. And then you also have Hawkedile, who is the set's main exclusive. He's pretty cool. I'm not sure if I'll be getting this set, because there is another UNIKITTY set there that higher up on this list that I think is a lot better, but I don't know. Still a pretty cool set, though, and I would recommend it if you're not planning on getting any of the larger sets. Yeah. Number 20 on my list is the UNIKITTY Collectible Minifigures Series 1, or, well, not exactly minifigures, but you get the idea. I think these look really nice. If I had to pick out a few favorites, I'd go with the UNIKITTY and Puppycorn covered in frosting, the new Queasy Kitty, and, yeah, those are my 3 favorites, although I also kind of like Solid Snake UNIKITTY. But yeah, I'm excited to see these when they come out, and, really, none of them are bad. It's just that, like, the top row are my favorites. But, yeah, pretty cool. I do hope that in the future LEGO makes more of these, because these are some great UNIKITTYs, and Puppycorns, lots of great printing. Yeah, pretty neat. Number 19 is the Darth Vader BRICKHEADZ figure, and I think he looks pretty good. I like some of the printing and techniques that make up his helmet, and the body is just sort of standard, although I do like the belt. Yeah, pretty cool figure. If I had a couple of complaints, I kind of wish that the sides of the helmet had a more continuous curve instead of having flat and then curved. I don't know. But still a pretty nice figure. Yeah. Number 18 is the Avengers Infinity War Bricktober minifigure set, which has some great figures based off of a great movie. It has War Machine, Wong, Tony in the Mark 50 tracksuit, and Bucky, or White Wolf now. These figures have a lot of great printing. As you can see, the 3 that have hair pieces or helmets, they all have double-sided faces. All except Wong have arm printing. Bucky and Wong both have double-molded legs. Wong has printing on the side of his legs. Just a lot of great detail with these figures. They're pretty great. Yeah. Number 17 is the Hoth Medical Chamber from LEGO Star Wars. A pretty nice playset. It comes with back-to-tank Luke, Leia, and a 2-1B medical droid, as well as a brick-built FX6 medical droid, both of whom are pretty alright. And, I feel as though the actual medical chamber is well built up. You, of course, have the back-to-tank, as well as a little bed for your figure to lay on, and it looks like behind the wall you actually have the famous kissing chair from the movie. So, yeah, pretty cool set, just not a big fan of the $30 price tag. Wish it was $25, but $30 is fine, I guess. Number 16 is the Peter Venkman and Slimer BRICKHEADZ set. I feel as though both of these figures look really great. I feel as though Venkman is probably the better one, though. He has several, I think 4 new prints, all of which look really good. Especially, I really like the 2 that make up his torso, the front of his torso, and the Ghostbusters logo on a 1x2 is also quite nice. It feels though the proton stream, I'm not a big fan of how that just sort of, the nozzle is just attached to the top of the hose. That looks a bit off to me. I don't know, but I like how the hair was done on him. I'm going to make him look sort of like his hair is receding a bit, but still making it totally obvious that he does have hair, unlike Mr. Incredible, who was pretty bad. But then Slimer has a great new print for the mouth, and I feel so he's very well built up for a non-human figure. He's pretty neat. Yeah, nicely done. Number 15 is the first set from the new Wizarding World sub-theme to appear on my list. Grindelwald's Escape, based off of Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, and this is a pretty good set for $20. I feel as though the figures are definitely the low point. Grindelwald doesn't look too much like Johnny Depp. I feel as though they should have gone with light tan hair instead of white, because even if Grindelwald does have ridiculous bleached hair in the movie and looks completely stupid, I feel as though LEGO should have just gone with blonde. It would have looked better, and also I'm not a big fan of how his leg printing just cuts off on the sides. And then Seraphina is a bit lazy. I'm fine with them not doing a new hat-hair combo and just printing her hair, but I'm not fine with them just not printing her dress. Also, they both have power blasts, which just don't belong in Harry Potter. But I mean, the build is pretty nice. You have this great carriage, which looks pretty good in my opinion. Looks like you can fit one person driving it and maybe a couple of people on the inside. But then the star of the set is definitely that new Thestral, which looks so good. It's a new mold, as well as I think the wings are also new. Double molded molds, because it looks like part of those are trans smoke. Yeah, this is just a great build, just the figures could be a bit better. Number 14 is the Harry Potter Bricktober minifigure set. And I feel as though this is the best of the 3 minifigure sets, at least in my opinion, because while it doesn't have the most detail, I feel as though the figures here are the most important to their franchise, and it's great to get some of these for the first time in quite a few years. We have a new Madam Hooch to go with the new Quidditch set. Personally, I feel as though they maybe could have done a bit more with her to differentiate her from the 2010 one. I feel as though she should probably have a new hairpiece, but she's alright. Slughorn is great. I think the face print looks pretty good, and the torso as well. Umbridge is definitely my favorite. I think the face print, I don't think it entirely captures her personality, but it does look a lot like the actress. But then the torso and legs are just fantastic on her. And I can't tell, but it almost looks like she might have double-molded legs, which would be pretty great. And then Boggart Snape is pretty cool. He has a fur collar. And, yeah, overall, 4 pretty great figures. This is going to be a great set to get as soon as it releases in the United States, which might be a while, but hey, I'll wait. LEGO, please release this in the United States. Don't only release this in countries where they still have Toys R Us. LEGO, I'm begging you. But anyway. Number 13 is the Hermione Granger BRICKHEADZ figure, who I think is alright. You can see that she does have a couple of new prints, a 1x2 for her collar, and a 1x4 for the skirt. I think the skirt looks pretty good, although for the collar, there's a reason it's a 1x2 and not a 1x4, because it's reused on another BRICKHEAD that we'll see later in this video, although I kind of wish that for her they would have just printed the same design onto a 1x4, you know, just to get a bit more, just so that you don't have the split between the bricks, but it's alright. The hair, I think, is very well done, although I think it's a bit odd how on all of the Harry Potter BRICKHEADZ, they didn't really fill in like, obviously, the hair is on the front of the head and on the side, and they didn't try to really fill in the gap in between the front and the sides, so you just have an odd cutout there. Not a big fan of that, but it's alright. But yeah, overall, pretty nice BRICKHEAD, just not a big fan of that gap on the side of the head, and kind of wish that they'd printed a 1x4 for the collar. Pretty nice, though, overall. Number 12 is Aragog's Lair, the smallest set from the Wizarding World line, but in my opinion, still a really good one. It's only $15, and you get great value here with 2 minifigures, both with some great new accessories, 5 spiders, 3 of whom are in a new caramel color, Aragog, who is a really good, really accurate new spider build that I feel is scaled pretty well to the figures. And you also get this little side build of a tree, which has a pretty simple web shooting play feature, but it's alright. So yeah, I would recommend this set, and it would be higher, except while the figures do work perfectly for this set, they do appear in another set, which is actually sort of a detriment to that set, since they're inaccurate there, but in the long run, it does end up affecting this set as well, because it means that there aren't any exclusive figures. Still a pretty great set, though, don't get me wrong. Number 11 is the UMKINGDOM Fairground Fun Set from the UNAKITTY lineup, and in my opinion, this is just a really great set. You get some great figures, including UNAKITTY, Puppycorn, Master Frown, Dr. Fox, Rick, and that blue guy that I don't remember the name of. I have seen some more of the UNAKITTY TV show, but I don't remember that guy, sorry to say. But I think the builds here are really great. You have this nice sort of half roller coaster. I think it would have been cool if maybe they'd done a full loop, but it's alright. You have sort of the spinning swings ride, as well as a popcorn machine below that. You have a couple of bumper cars and a little refreshment stand. So overall, a pretty nice set with some pretty nice builds and some pretty nice figures. Moving into the top 10, we have the Throne Room Showdown, which is the only Ninjago set that'll be on this list. And for $20, this is a great deal. You get 5 minifigures, one of which is exclusive, and a few others of which are rather uncommon. And then the builds, I think the throne is very well done, very ornamental. I feel as though the two walls, though, I feel as though the one on the left is overall pretty fine. You have a fun little feature to just break through that gate. But the jail cell, I kind of wish that maybe there had been a wall on the back of that. I don't know, it just seems a bit incomplete on that. But yeah, overall pretty good. The set would be higher, except much like the Aragog's Lair set, there's another set that includes several other figures in this set, so that definitely detracts from the value a bit, but overall, pretty nice. And for $20, I would definitely recommend it. It's a steal. Way better than the other $20 set for the Ninjago Wave. Number 9 on my list is the Luke Skywalker and Yoda BRICKHEADZ 2-pack. I feel as though this is an amazing set for the price of only $15. Luke has to be one of the best BRICKHEADZ figures that I've seen. I feel as though the hair on him is done very well, and I feel as though the printing for the body is well done. It was an interesting choice to go with the Bespin design for Luke, but I think it works very well. His blaster is well built up, and you have a clip on his belt to attach his lightsaber to. I would recommend doing that. He does look better with his lightsaber clipped to his belt, but you might disagree, that's just me. But Yoda, I think, looks pretty much perfect. I'm glad that they went with sand green instead of olive green. And I like just the simple print for his robes. Yeah, pretty simple stuff, but pretty nice. Number 8 on my list is the Ron Weasley and Albus Dumbledore BRICKHEADZ 2-pack set. This is a pretty nice set of 2 figures. Ron is pretty well done, pretty simple on the hair, but since Ron does have a bowl cut, I feel as though that does work pretty well. Has the same odd cutout design that Hermione did, but it's fine. But then, Ron doesn't have any new prints to him, but he does, I feel, actually look better than both of the other BRICKHEADZ figures that are coming of the Harry Potter students, with the sort of open robes. Yeah, and the nice scarf printed around. And then Dumbledore, though, is definitely the star of this set, as he has a ton of new prints. You get 2 of that new glasses piece, 7 of that cool 1x4 on the hat, and it looks like 6 of the 1x2 on his sleeves and robes. I think his hair and beard is pretty perfectly captured, and yeah, honestly, Dumbledore is probably one of the best BRICKHEADZ LEGO has made thus far. Number 7 is the last BRICKHEADZ set that'll be on this list, Harry Potter and Hedwig. I feel as though Harry is pretty great. It feels as though the hair on him is definitely the best I've seen on any BRICKHEAD thus far. It looks just perfect. All the shaping, the different amounts of studs versus slopes versus tiles. He just looks perfect. He has closed-up robes, a new print for both his scar and for the Gryffindor badge. And I didn't mention earlier, but his arms are covered so that it looks like he's wearing robes. The hand parts are covered by new 1x1 brackets, which are a nice piece to get. And he's pretty great. Hedwig looks a bit odd, I will admit, but she looks very cute. And she also has a couple of new prints for her wings as well as for her eyes, which are the normal BRICKHEAD's eye design, but printed onto yellow tiles. Pretty nice stuff. Number 6 on my list is the new LEGO Star Wars X-Wing Starfighter set. And this looks very nice, in my opinion. It is great to finally get a new original trilogy X-Wing, and this one is much larger and more detailed than the previous. And the figures are great. You get 4 Luke, Biggs, R2, and I believe Biggs' droid is R4-2HD, but I might be wrong about that. But anyway, if I had to have a couple of complaints, I'm not a big fan of how the spring-loaded shooters are integrated onto the X-Wings. It still looks absolutely atrocious, so I'm definitely going to leave those off. But then if I have one other complaint, it's that I think it's a bit odd that they incorporated all the barely noticeable yellow stripes, but then didn't include a sticker for the obvious sort of hood scoop of the X-Wing. Not really a hood scoop, but you know, the little indent at the front. Also, I like the new helmets, but I think it's a bit odd that the figures don't come with printed chin straps. Just a bit odd. But yeah, moving into the top 5, we have Newt's Case of Magical Creatures, based off of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And at first, this set, I mean, it's a very nice looking briefcase, but what's so special about it? Well, you see, you can open it up, and then fold up out the sides. And also, it comes with all of this. I feel as though the briefcase playset itself looks very nice. You have Newt's little cabin, you have sort of a sink area, and then you have the Niffler Den and an Occamy nest. The 4 figures included are very nice. I feel as though the standout of them is Queenie, who has a lot of great printing. And, I feel as though both the Occamy and the Thunderbird both look very nice. And the molded Niffler is probably the best thing in the set. If I had a couple complaints, I'm not a fan of the Rumpet's tiny feet. And I also don't really like how Jacob's alternate face can only be used with the helmet, because for some reason, Biggs doesn't have a chin strap, but Jacob Kowalski does. I understand. But yeah. Still pretty awesome set, though, and to top it all off, it is an amazing price-to-part ratio with 694 pieces for only $50. So yeah. When this set comes out August 1st, it will be an instant buy for me. Number 4 is the Quidditch match from the Harry Potter lineup. And in my opinion, this is another great deal. 500 pieces for $40 and a great build. You get 6 new minifigures. Harry, who looks adorable in his Quidditch uniform. Oliver Wood. Marcus Flint, who has an amazingly derpy face. Then another Slytherin player who I believe is labeled as Lucian Bowl, although I prefer to see him as Terrence Higgs, the Seeker from the first movie. But then you also get Hermione and Snape. The build, I think, is pretty cool. You get all 4 towers, 1 for each house, and then you also get a section of the Quidditch pitch with the 3 rings, and a play feature to tilt the keeper between them. And I also like the idea of the stud shooting broom to be able to actually fire the balls. Although I do kind of wish that maybe they just also included just, you know, a normal Quaffle and 2 Bludgers. And I think it's a bit odd how the Quaffle is represented by a minifigure head, which I think is the best LEGO could do for a ball, although it has a stud on the end, but then for some reason the Bludgers are just normal black studs. That doesn't really correlate well for me. I kind of wish the Bludgers had also been minifigure heads, but yeah. Also, the new Golden Snitch is amazing. So yeah, pretty great set overall. Good deal. Number 3 on my list is the new Hogwarts Express set, again from the Harry Potter lineup. And this set has some great figures, although it is a bit of a problem, because these are the Harry and Ron from the Aragog's Lair set, which don't belong here. This is the Express based off of Prisoner of Azkaban, and they did not have these costumes then, so very inconsistent, and again, does devalue both sets by doing that. But then you have a great new Hermione, you have an amazing Lupin, the Trolley Witch, and this absolutely petrifying Dementor. So yeah, great figures. Platform 9 3/4 is a really good build. Like, it's probably one of the best side builds I've ever seen in a set. It's just, wow. A lot of detail there, a lot of stuff to do, a lot of space to put your figures. But then the Express itself is also extremely well detailed. At least the engine is extremely well detailed. Definitely the best we've ever seen for the Express. The coal car does have a storage space inside, and the passenger car can seat 4 figures, and as well as fitting in the Trolley Witch with her cart. If I had one complaint, it's that the Express definitely is a bit shorter than the previous one from 2010. And also, I feel as though after the engine, there isn't much more detail captured on this version than that one. Although, those are really just minor things. This is still a great set, and for $80, I would definitely recommend it. Number 2 on my list is the Hogwarts Whomping Willow, and this is another great set. You get 6 minifigures, Harry, Ron, Hermione, Seamus Finnegan, Snape, and Filch. And then the builds are great. You get a new Ford Anglia, which is a definite improvement over the 2010 version. You get the first LEGO Whomping Willow, which people have complained about it being too small, but personally, I'm glad. I think it's the perfect size to go well with this undersized castle that's more designed for minifigures. But then the castle itself, because you also get a large section of that in the set, is pretty great. You have sort of one of the tunnels that the Ford Anglia drove through after escaping the Whomping Willow, as well as just sort of a tower and a couple of small emplacements. Turning the set around to the back, you can see that you have a lot of stuff on the interior, including Snape's office, the potions classroom, the Gryffindor dormitories, and the owlry, and as well as a nice walkway connecting it all. So yeah, overall pretty great set. I would definitely recommend it for $70. And the number 1 set on my list, if there was any doubt, is set number 75954, the Hogwarts Great Hall. I mean, what really is there to say about this set that hasn't been said already? It's nearly flawless. You get 10 amazing minifigures, Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger, Draco Malfoy, Susan Bones, Albus Dumbledore, Minerva McGonagall, Rubeus Hagrid, Quirinus Quirrell, and Nearly Headless Nick. You get a boat, you get a great new build for Fox. The Great Hall itself looks so good from the exterior. You have so many details going on with it. The Gryffindor, well, not Gryffindor Tower. I always forget what the tower is called. We'll just call it the main tower. It looks pretty good, although it is missing a slight detail that should be... Yeah, on the top of the spire. It's missing a couple of smaller spires that come off of that, but that's fine. Really the set's only major problem besides that is the basilisk, which is pretty terribly done. So let's hope that in the future we get a more fitting version. But then around the back, you have a great interior for the hall, with tables for all 4 houses. You get a staircase, a storage room with the sorting hat, a potions room, and the mirror Varicid. So yeah, this set is pretty much perfect besides that basilisk. And the best part about numbers 1 and 2 on this list is that they can connect together, thus creating an even larger Hogwarts display that looks so good, and it just has so much stuff going on. It's just beautiful. So yeah, overall, that is my list of the top 25 sets for summer 2018. I hope to be able to get a fair amount of them at some point to review for you on my channel. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see all of you in the next one. Farewell.